Greetings, timeshare travelers. Today was my first timeshare presentation since the COVID-19, and I thought it was a very interesting day. I happened to be in Las Vegas for the presentation, and just a little bit of information. I purchased my marketing package in January before we in the United States understood what was happening with COVID-19. And I basically pushed out the marketing presentation until now. And really the reason I pushed it out is, hey, I'm remodeling my house, and so I need a place to stay. So I leveraged the fact that I had already paid for the marketing stay to come to Vegas for the weekend. A very interesting place. I'll talk more about that in a moment. Hi, I wanted to talk a little bit about the environment here in Las Vegas. First of all, walking the strip, and haven't done much of it. You can tell by my gray hair, I'm one of the people more at risk. But most of the timeshare places have restrictions. I'm staying pretty much in my room. I bring my cleaning supplies. I have my mask. I have my gloves. And I can't speak to all of the timeshare places, but I'm seeing it at least in Worldmark and Hilton, which are the only two that I've stayed at since the pandemic started. Things are different at different places. Access to the pool is usually restricted to the number of people. You got to do a reservation at Worldmark and Hilton. It looks like there's a lot of spacing going on. So it's really good to see that the resorts are taking a lot of things into consideration. Also, same thing was true with the presentation. Now, actually, I didn't have to go through the presentation because I was an owner, but really they have about 20 to 40% of their staff still on. And in the Worldmark case, they actually had stopped all of the owner presentations. Masks and gloves were provided to you. I happen to come with my mask and my gloves, but I have another set now. And lots of safe distancing was practiced. There was no like in-your-face presentation kind of thing. It was much more relaxed. Overall, it was interesting. I felt a sense of respect instead of kind of the excitement of, let me explain to you why this is all great. It was more a respect, thank you. It was kind of like, thank you for being considered to come to the presentation. So it was a much different feel, and maybe it was just the way I was treated and the person I had. It's hard to know that, but it was a much more relaxing, lower pressure situation. I think they were just glad to have something to offer to us. So what was the timeshare offer? I'm sure you're all wanting, that's probably the bottom line everybody wanted to know. Well, first thing I wanted to start with, I think companies realize that, hey, we haven't had a chance to use our points. So most of us are sitting here figuring out, well, how do I push my points in the next year, and what do I do? How do I avoid losing points? And so I think people are aware of that. But what was interesting is I was still offered the opportunity to purchase, which I would have expected. But what they offered was a quicker path to higher level elite memberships if you purchased. So they did a lot. They were fairly creative in regards to that, which was interesting. I thought it was very creative, but I already have kind of the elite level that I want to be at. And the other things, the higher levels, they're less interesting to me. But it's interesting that the industry was responding, and they were trying to take advantage of what they did have to offer and what would be good for people that really are struggling to use their points for this year, and what are they going to do for next year. So I thought it was a very creative offer to offer, one-time only opportunities to go to more higher level, elite level services. It wasn't the complete level, it was just pieces of that. I wanted to also just talk briefly about two more things. First of all, again, I think I mentioned it before, but it didn't feel like the high pressure sales. And it could have been the person, or it could be the environment that changed because of COVID. I think people are, happy with the people that can show up and happy they have a job. What was different that I've never had happen, again, it could have been the person, but it seemed to be consistent because as I was going through the sort of tour, other people were also there. I was offered a few tips on how to use my points better, which was different than I've had in the past. In the past, it's more about where can we get you to the next level kind of thing. The obvious thing probably for everyone is there was no hot food was offered, and for safety reasons, the last thing you want to do is share utensils or anything like that. But I do want to say one thing. The places are going out of their way. Overall, I've been, again, I'm one of the people in the high risk categories, but I've enjoyed my stay and it felt safe. I've stayed away from the attractions. I haven't really gone to the strip here in Las Vegas. I'm not really a gambler, but I did walk down, and many people, it's required to wear a mask, and many people had them. I will say some people, put them down to their chin. That wasn't necessarily fun for me, but I kept my safe distancing. But I have to say I'm enjoying the room, while my house is being remodeled, and it has an 8-foot TV screen, something that I would probably never buy, but I get to take advantage of while I'm here. Anyway, that's in summary. It was been a interesting experience to go through my first timeshare presentation since the COVID-19 pandemic has arrived.